Yeah, simply ball dropping. What's up, family? K-Sap, we up! Ain't no stopping. I'm simply ball dropping like it's New Year's Eve, making you haters believe I'm the MVP. Ask Mr. V and R&B, they do all sports, whether it's on the field or the court, from the arena to the ring. What? You wanna swing? I rope a dope like the one on this boxing thing. That's a punchline. I'm the greatest of all times. Got something on your mind? Hit us up on the line for that round table talk. Ask B Hunt and Sheena and K-Sap too for their views on our dudes. Marriage Chronicles for you lovers. Oh, I'm married to the game. The championships, the only time I wanna ring. K-Sap, the man behind the mic. Check 1, 2. It ain't a rap until I say it's a rap. Just fall through, pull up the hottest pod smoking. Yeah, I got you open. This freestyle brought to you by James Ford. Paid promotion. Yeah, simply ball dropping. You know what time it is. Pull up, chop it up with your family, man. K-Sap, what up?
And now, your host of the Simply Ball Droppin' Podcast, the man behind the mic, K-Sap.
This episode is sponsored by True Choice Insurance. Here at True Choice, we take a different philosophy when it comes to providing you with your insurance options. We emphasize the value of the products we offer, instead of playing on the fear of you not being protected in your time of need. True Choice is affiliated with more than 60 insurance companies. This makes us one of the most independent agencies in the state of Texas. Please visit TrueChoiceInsurance.com for all your insurance needs.
Yo, what's good? Welcome to another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm the host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Thank you for all the new subscribers. If you come across this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications so you'll get that bell notification when Simply Ball Dropping drops another banger. I see everybody in the comments, hashtag salute. I appreciate all my old subscribers. And like I said, if you're new to this channel, tell a friend to tell a friend. Get this podcast out there. Appreciate everybody that's tuned in. I appreciate everybody that's been rocking with me. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate all the love. I see all the comments. I respond to all the comments. It's a lot more people, finding this channel. A lot more people subscribing. On the road to 1,000 subscribers. Appreciate everybody that's tuned in, man. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the support. I see all the comments. Trust me, I respond to the majority of the comments, man. Great feedback on the podcast, man. And like I said, you come across, man, share it. Tell a friend to tell a friend. On today's episode, man, we got a lot to unpack. So stick around. We have a great show lined up for you. I was going to produce this show on Saturday when the breaking news came out on Ja Morant. Everybody know what's going on with the Memphis Grizzlies superstar. Ja Morant has been in the news lately, and it's not good news. But a lot of people, when Shannon Sharpe brought this to a lot of people's attention about the Memphis Grizzlies and their superstar athlete Ja Morant being something that they're not, trying to live the thug life. A lot of people said that Shannon Sharpe was basically just hating. They said Shannon Sharpe was out of place, out of character. And it goes when Memphis played Los Angeles Lakers and Shannon Sharpe was in attendance. And some things were said on the court between him and Dillon Brooks. And tempers started flaring up and they got into it. Dillon Brooks said some things to Shannon Sharpe that Shannon Sharpe disagreed. Then they showed Ja Morant telling, Shannon Sharpe basically, man, sit your ass down. You ain't going to do nothing. So when Shannon Sharpe started bringing that to a lot of people's attention, a lot of people just looked at Shannon Sharpe like, oh, he's just hating on a young 23-year-old. But Shannon Sharpe, the things that he was saying now have come true. Ja Morant is out there, living a life that he escaped from in the streets of South Carolina. You put yourself in a situation where now you're the breadwinner for your family. You got off the streets. You're making over $200 million in your NBA contract. Just recently, got your own sneaker deal with Nike. Now you're the face of Powerade, which they ain't had no athlete in 5 years. And you had a major campaign ad. And, a lot of people were saying, hey, this guy got a chance to be a $1 billion athlete at 23 years old, but it looks like he's trending in the wrong direction. Now, a lot of people, speculate on different things, but a lot of people say things that, we might not agree. But me personally, if I'm making that kind of money, I'm not going to be trying to portray that I'm a thug. It's all right to be soft with that kind of money. Now you have the resources to hire somebody to be the thug for you. You don't have to be the thug. You don't have to be that guy. You don't have to brandish firearms. You don't have to get into it with people. You got the resources and the money to hire people that's what they do. They're licensed to carry guns. You can hire people like that. It's okay to have security around you. You're a big time athlete. Everybody wants to get up and close in person with you. But you don't have to portray yourself the way you're portraying yourself. And like I said, a lot of people, when Shannon Sharp was saying it, a lot of people was, coming at Shannon Sharp, saying, oh, you older, stay out of these kids' business. Man, you a 53-year-old grown man, and you all up in a 23-year-old's business, getting into it with them courtside. But then a lot of people say with the latest incident, what is T. Morant doing? What is the father doing? Not saying the father is in the wrong in this situation. T. Morant has done a great job raising Ja Morant. Raised him in the streets of South Carolina. He's been with him through thick and thin, through his upbringing, got him to where he is today, made him work hard, sacrifices. We don't know if Ja Morant is listening to, his father's advice. Because when you're making all the money and you're the breadwinner of the family, it seems like nobody can tell you nothing. We don't know what the situation is between T. Morant and Ja Morant. Only thing we can say, sitting back from afar and seeing on national television, that T. Morant is at every Memphis Grizzlies home game. Sometimes he travels on the road to the away games. He's always in the front row. He's always in attendance. And it seems to people looking from the outside looking in that T. Morant is part of the entourage. He's part of the crew. He's part of what Ja Morant is doing. They saying he's not acting as a father. That's just looking from afar. We don't know that. That's just speculations. But the way it's looking like when they're on the court, Ja Morant doing spectacular things. He runs over to his dad, daps him up like he's a part of his crew. That's what people have a problem with. And I remember when the Balls came into the league and LeVar Ball, everybody was on him about the way he was raising his kids, and he was involved in everything that his kids was doing. But I bet you that LeVar Ball kids wouldn't be involved in no things like this, acting the way that Ja Morant is acting. But you see T. Morant front row drinking beers, drinking liquor. It's like he's part of Ja's entourage. Ja is the breadwinner. And some people say maybe he's not listening to his father. Maybe he's not respecting the things that his father's saying because he's the one that's forking out all the money. He's the breadwinner. He's taking care of everybody. But Ja, you got to understand, you have a chance to be a $1 billion athlete, man. You setting up for your kids, their kids, for their financial stability where they don't got to work another day in their life. That's what you're on to, man. $231 contract with Memphis, your own shoe deal with Nike. You replace Kyrie Irving because Kyrie Irving, reposted a tweet or a video from Amazon that got him in scrutiny with Nike. Nike's standing by your side right now. But this is an ongoing investigation. It's not over now. But let's just go look at some of the timeline of some of the events that had played out concerning with Ja Morant. And we're going to look at some, and we're going to talk about it. You know, other allegations involving John Morant, punching a 17-year-old and flashing a gun last summer, then threatening the head of security at a Memphis mall, and then riding in an SUV that pointed a laser at a Pacers team bus with one Indiana staffer believing the laser was attached to a gun. That's the timeline of events. Everything is trending. Now, the big thing was Saturday night, after you just played the Denver Nuggets, you was caught on your IG Live, verified account, John Morant's IG Live, brandishing a gun and singing and partying. I guess that was your entourage you was with, partying in the club. But y'all act like y'all was in there celebrating like y'all won a championship. Y'all just lost to Denver. And you're out in a bar, nightclub, 5:30 in the morning, partying with a gun. Now, the thing about it is, if you look, like, how did he get that gun in the club? He had to travel with that gun from Memphis to Denver into that nightclub. Now, through the collective bargaining agreement, you're not allowed to have no firearms. Now, if the investigation proves that that was your handgun, you brought it from Memphis to Denver, and then you got it in the nightclub, but on them team planes, everything's being screened. So how did that gun appear? Did somebody give you that gun at the club and you just showed it on your IG Live? You know, they're doing investigations in Denver right now, but y'all got to understand something. In Denver, it's open and carry. You can carry a firearm, but you just can't carry a firearm under the influence. We don't know if he was drinking alcohol that night or what. But if it comes to show that that was Jai's firearm, you go back to 2009 when Gilbert Arenas brought that firearm into the Wizards facility. He got suspended by David Stern for the rest of the year. I think that was like 45 games he got suspended. And then that was an incident involving Gilbert Arenas and Javaris Crittenton. Now, if y'all remember Javaris Crittenton, the Georgia Tech product, he came out, was a first-round pick by the Los Angeles Lakers, got bounced around, was traded, went into Washington. Him and Gilbert got into it. Gilbert bringing guns to the arena. But if you'll now look at Javaris Crittenton, he's a convicted murderer now. He is serving 50 years to life in a federal prison. His dreams was just shattered. So we don't want Jai to trend down that same road that Javaris Crittenton, went down. So a lot of people are speculating different things. It's an ongoing investigation, but I want y'all guys to listen to what Shannon Sharpe had to say on the Undisputed talk show this morning about the whole situation. Take a listen.
What's your reaction to what happened this weekend and then Ja's response?
It probably took something like this, Jan, Skip, in order for Ja to realize the error of his ways. Ja was traveling down a road he didn't need to be on. And I don't want to say I'm the only one, because I believe people have tried to reach out to Ja. But Skip, when you're young and you have a lot of money, you feel, first of all, when you're young, you feel you're invincible. Now, just imagine you're young and you have a $200 million contract from the Grizzlies. You have a signature shoe from Nike, and you're one of the major faces of Powerade. Now you really think you are invincible. And so he was traveling on a road he didn't need to be on. And I hate that it had to take something like this for him to become very self-reflective. Skip, the NBA is not done with this. This is what we know. Skip, you remember in 2009, Gilbert Arenas did what he did? He brought firearms to the facility. Now, I'm not sure it works like this, but I think it does. In the NFL, you cannot have a firearm on NFL premises, which means training facilities, which means the stadium. I believe it is the exact same way with the NBA. You cannot have a firearm on the premises. training facility, the arena, he had to have taken that gun on the plane from Memphis to Denver. He had to have taken that gun in the arena, or how else would he have gotten that gun and to do what he did on IG Live? Gilbert Arenas was suspended, if I'm not mistaken. I think it happened like mid-December. He missed the rest of the season. I'm going to be very surprised if the NBA doesn't come down very, very harsh on Ja Morant. I like the apology. Hopefully he gets the help, whatever help that is, in dealing with what he needs to deal with. But Ja, I was just offering you advice, bro. You're talking about, and good advice, Skip, is only good if the person that is receiving it adheres to the advice. That's it. Because I can see where this was heading. Ja was wanting to be something that he shouldn't have wanted to be. As I've said before, Skip, normally people think about it, Skip. John Gotti never said that he was a gangster. No. Meyer Lansky never said they were gangsters. Mm-hmm. Gangsters never tell you what they are. They do everything they can to perpetrate something that they're not. They're not what they, we know what they were, but they wanted to be outstanding gentlemen. Skip, they had businesses. They were just great in the community because they didn't want to portray that image. Why would someone have a $231 million contract that kicks in next year, a signature shoe, a Powerade national ad? Why would you want to be perpetuate that you're a gangster, that you're a thug? So it made no sense to me.
Man, Shannon Sharp said a lot there. And I totally agree with everything he said. And what resonates to me is that he just got his own signature shoe with Nike. Y'all know he replaced Kyrie Irving because of the situation Kyrie was in with Nike, with the retweeting and posting the video from Amazon about anti-Semitic stuff. And Kyrie got that contract with Nike snatched right from underneath of him, and Ja replaced him. It's going to be interesting to see if Nike stands by Ja in this incident, because the league has been investigating Ja since all these other accusations have came up in the news. It seems to me that Ja wants to be more than what he is. He wants to be a tough guy. That's not Ja's persona. I don't know what Ja has to prove to anybody or what's going on in his mental space, because a lot of reports from his teammates saying that they're concerned about his sanity, if I said that correctly. They're concerned about his well-being, the stress levels. As a 23-year-old, a lot has came to Ja so fast. But that's what you work toward to get the star treatment, to get the money you deserve. You got out the struggle from the streets of South Carolina. You're living good. You're paid well. But your actions are saying that you want to revert back to doing the things you was doing in the streets of South Carolina. But a lot of people say you wasn't doing that in the streets of South Carolina. You never portrayed that when you was at Murray State. You never portrayed that, but all of a sudden you get yourself hands on a lot of money and you try to become something that you're not. We don't understand it, Ja. We just hope you get the help that you need to weather this storm. And like Shannon said, the apology was a great start. You took full responsibility of your actions. But right now, Memphis has said that Ja will be away from the team at least 2 games. But then Taylor Jenkins, his head coach, said there's not a timeline on the return for Ja Morant. This is going to take some time. So he's away from the team. He missed the game against the Clippers, and he will miss the game against the Lakers. But it looks like he's going to miss even more games down the line. And if y'all listen to a recent interview that Carmelo had on a podcast when David Stern was commissioner, rest in peace to David Stern, Carmelo said that when he got in trouble, David Stern brought him in and sat down and told him, like, we know when you wake up, we know when you go to sleep, we know who's around you, and we know the company that you keep. Now, I know these players listen to podcasts. They should take heed to that stuff from former players that have been in the league, the situations that they've been in. But when you bring stuff that and it resonates to the top of the table, a lot of people think that, oh, they just hating on people. Nah, they giving them advice. And like Shannon said, I hope it reaches him and I hope he receives it. Because Shannon don't have no ill will toward Ja Morant. He was just letting the people know the stuff that was trending in the road that he saw Ja Morant going down, and look what happened. And like Shannon Sharp said, he glad that it happened now instead of later on down the road. And for guys that don't know about the Javaris Crittenton story, take a look at that story. That resonates. That sets up there. Because like I said, with the incident with Gilbert Arenas in 2009, bringing guns in the locker room with the beef that they had, and then all of a sudden, Javaris Crittenton is a convicted murderer and is serving 50 years of life in a state penitentiary. His dreams just taken away from him. He was highly coveted first-round pick of the Los Angeles Lakers, Georgia Tech prodigy, rated top 10 coming out of college. That's why he earned that first-round pick with the Lakers. But I agree 100% with what Shannon Sharp said. And it's a lot. It's an ongoing investigation. And I would be surprised if we see Ja back on the court this year. This is how serious this is. And if they just going to give him a slap in the wrist for all the accusations that are out there, all the alleged accusations that are out there, they're investigating this stuff. But I think Ja's like, man, I'm untouchable. He was pushing the limits, man. And you can tell that he was pushing the limits because of all the things that have happened. You know, it's almost like we don't know, but they're investigating. It's almost like a slap in the wrist when the incident came up with the game in Indiana. One of his people in his entourage is banned from the facility. He's banned from the facility in Memphis. And then after the game, you get into it with the staffers of Indiana. You in the parking lot, which one of the staffers said the red light beam was shined on him, and they said it came from a gun. And Ja was in that vehicle. Ja, you got to distance yourself, man. And one thing that Jalen Rose said that makes a lot of sense, he said, people come into your life, they're either going to add, subtract, divide, or multiply. That right there was some stuff that Jalen Rose said on NBA Countdown. Michael Wilburn touched on it. Stephen A. touched on it. So it was only right for me to touch on it. But I agree with everything that Shannon Sharp said, man. And I just hope Ja gets the help that he needs to resurrect it, man. I mean, like they said, glad it happened now and they can get a hold on it. But I'd be surprised if we see Ja back on the NBA court this year. I'd be very surprised. And I'd be very surprised if Nike keeps him as a sponsor. And I'd be very surprised with Powerade as well, because this is some serious stuff. So you guys let me know what you think down in the comments. This is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.